Okay guys, we're now on the second part of this solo ad segment, and it goes along with what I was just sharing with you earlier on when I was talking about your swipe copy being congruent. So if we just set our minds back to when we talked about the swipe copy or the email content before, it went along the lines of, if you don't make at least one commission within your first 30 days, then they will pay you $500 in cash. And all I did was I played off of that headline. I will show you a guaranteed system to make at least $1,000 within 30 days, or I will pay you $500 in cash out of my own pocket. Now, this squeeze page right here converted around 45 to 55% on average. And the one thing you want to do is keep your squeeze pages as simple as possible. So what I mean is that I'm not requesting your full name, I'm not asking you for your phone number, and I don't have any distracting headers or footers that might cause people to click away from what I want people to do, and that is for them to take action and opt in. You'll notice that I also include the Facebook like box underneath, and the reason this works so well is that it's social proof. This actually reflects back to how many people like my page, so they're realistic figures and they're not in the millions. But as you can see, I like to keep squeeze pages very simple. If it's coming from my blog, I reflect the color to that. If it's people coming from Facebook, then I also have one that reflects the light gray and the blue also. But for me, it works really well, and to be honest, I've done a huge amount of testing and tweaking to get these numbers. So that's a quick highlight for what one of my squeeze pages look like. But now, I really want to show you where to get these solo ads. I'm also going to be showing you how you'd go about setting up a squeeze page using OptimizePress. And then finally, I'll get into a little bit more about tracking. So let's start off, and let me show you here who is actually a solo ad provider, and it's a typical solo ad sales page that you'll see quite often. And for most solo ad providers, we list all testimonials from people talking about how many subscribers they've got and what their overall result was. And if we scroll down here, you'll also see different prices. Now you'll notice on this page the traffic starts as low as 100 guaranteed clicks. But you can find others out there who will also start from probably 50 guaranteed clicks for as low as maybe 35 cents a click. This guy is selling 100 for $90, 200 for 170, 500 for 375, and 1,000 clicks for $650. And I would personally say that when you get traffic from solo ad providers, the typical rate is going to be maybe around 40 cents a click for something decent. But that won't be 100% tier 1 countries like, US, UK, Canada, Australia and New Zealand. The norm is usually around 70% tier 1, and the rest of the traffic you'll get will be worldwide. So when you start getting into buying traffic on a regular basis, you'll probably want to consider finding someone like me who's in a position to help you get some of the best traffic without having to take any risks of being sold bot traffic and being scammed. As I said before, I've been in this industry for quite some time now, and I've built solid relationships with these providers, and I really know who can deliver. But whatever way you go, it's a good way to get your feet wet, and you'll probably be able to get some sales and get some quality leads on your list also. Now, if you're not going to buy the solo ads with me, then what you want to do is go through and read everything. So let's see if I can find something here. Some of them don't really allow certain offers, which often comes down to two things. The first one is that they're promoting that business opportunity themselves, or they've hammered their list so much that the offer now converts really poorly, and therefore they wouldn't want to risk their reputation by sending out to an offer knowing that it's going to convert very badly. Okay, so if you take a look here on the second bullet point, he says, I accept most free ads related to internet marketing. What happens with solo ad providers is that they don't really care what you promote. So with something like this, I'd always ask before making a purchase. The problem is that it goes along with what I told you earlier, where people just use the same squeeze pages. So they don't really have a problem with these people promoting this stuff, but what they would often ask you is to provide a custom squeeze page. If you're using the same squeeze page that your BizOp company gives you, and you're not making your own custom squeeze page, because if they just mail that, you're not the only person coming to them wanting to mail these offers. So if the squeeze page isn't unique, the list is not going to respond to it well because people are used to already seeing it. Which is what I always see happen when new business opportunities launch. They promote it for mass exposure and have hundreds or thousands of people joining, and then by the time they say, hey, use our done for you squeeze page and buy some traffic, they'll become depleted very quickly, and people will complain that this person's traffic is bad, and it just becomes a pattern, and then eventually they'll give up, assuming everything was just a waste of time and money. But just going back to what I said, you want to make sure that you read everything on their page, and especially the testimonials. Like, I would never buy from someone who has testimonials where people are not giving you enough feedback. So a good example of this would be something like, hey, I'm very happy with the results. I'll definitely be back for more. Now, sure, it's a positive comment, but it just doesn't tell me anything with regards to conversions, tier 1 traffic and sales. So before I make a purchase, I want to see that whoever I'm buying from has a list of responsive traffic. And another thing, guys, be sure to look out at the dates of these testimonials. I've had many people try to sell me before, and their testimonials are like 1 or 2 years old. And when I ask them for updated testimonials, like within the last 2 or 3 weeks, I get a bunch of excuses, so I immediately avoid them, and I recommend that you should too. Okay, so now another place you can actually get solo ads is on Facebook. And if you go up here and you type in solo ads, you'll start seeing some come up, and you can select at the bottom, see more results for solo ads. So we click on that, and now you can select the search results to filter only solo ad groups. And as you can see, there's plenty of them right here. Now I want to show you inside the group so you can see how it's set up. So here's one I pulled up earlier, and this group has over 3,000 members. And you'll see here, people are posting their services and showing their testimonials. Then in most cases, they'll provide a link where you can actually go and buy now. And some of these offers are not even related to solo ads, so just completely ignore those. And especially offers where you see people selling traffic on Fiverr for $5. I really don't suggest it, because it's either bot clicks or very low quality traffic. But basically, you'll go through here and see what people have. So let's check this one here to see if it's the kind of thing we're looking for. Alright, so they're selling a number of different click packages. I'm trying to see if they include 100% tier 1 traffic, because most of my responsive traffic and the people that buy from me mostly are often from tier 1 countries, which by the looks of things they do, so that's good too. So what I would do from here is just get in touch with them, maybe ask a couple more questions such as when they can start the solo ad and how long it would take for them to deliver. Then I'd set up my squeeze page and make it congruent to the swipe file. So Facebook is a good place to find additional solo ad providers. The traffic won't be as good as compared to where I get my traffic from, similar to where the 7-8 figure earners get theirs from. And again, you're more than welcome to share that traffic with me, because like I mentioned before, I have to buy in bulk starting from at least $2,000. But I'll leave a link so that you can check that out. But overall, you'll find people advertising their services and discussing who's delivering good solo ads and who's not. So if you're in a position to buy a lot of traffic, Facebook groups will also be something to consider. Now the next place to buy solo ads is on the Warrior Forum, and I still buy from here now and again because you can find some good sources. Now if you're on the fence whether to buy traffic from someone fairly new, then the first thing I do is I'd ask them, have you mailed for this offer yet, or have you seen it before? Then if they haven't mailed for it, then that's even better for me, because that just means their audience hasn't been exposed to it yet. So there could be a lot of great potential. But what you would do is you would go to the Warrior Forum, and then once you get to the Warrior Forum, you would go to, let me see here, either click on the special offers banner or the Warrior Forum classified ads. Now keep in mind, I've been a member on here since May 2009, and I believe that now they charge a small yearly registration fee to be part of this forum. So you will need to pay for that before you start engaging and want to access other areas of the Warrior Forum. But in most cases, a lot of these threads that you'll find will post their contact details, whether it be their email, Facebook or Skype contact, so you may not have to pay anything. Now once that's done, what would be easier is if we click on the search tab, select the advanced tab, and basically all I will do is for my keyword I'll type in solo ads. And I want to search to find everything about solo ads in the Warrior Forum classified ads thread only. Otherwise you'll be getting all kinds of topics show up. So doing this will just make it easier. And click on the search now. Okay, so it's showing over 160 results here. And when I'm looking at these, the first thing I look for is the amount of views that thread has. And if they have quite a number of views, like most of the first page does, it means that they've been around for quite some time. I also think that the amount of replies they have is quite useful because you can read the engagement and see what people are saying. But just watch out for positive reviews that people leave in the comments. So what I mean is, like, some people have fake accounts. You'll see accounts where they've literally made like 1 or 2 comments, but they're purposely made for fake reviews. So just make sure to keep an eye out for those, and obviously don't make any buying decisions based on those. So all I would basically do from here is go through these and just open up the ones that have at least 10 comments or more. The more the better, because you can read other people's most recent experiences with these solo ad providers. And in most cases, the better the engagement on these threads, it's most likely that they're a decent provider and worth checking out. So when you go through these, read everything they have to say, see what type of packages they're offering, and then see if they have any recent testimonials. And if not, ask for them and see what their prices are. And then you can see here, for example, of people leaving comments. This guy here says, Lenin delivers much more than the clicks. Great traffic that produces sales. He delivers on time, and more importantly, he has a great and really helpful customer service. I'll definitely be back for more. So basically, people will start leaving testimonials in here and saying if it's good or if it's bad. And so you'll get a better understanding of who you're dealing with. If people leave video testimonials, that's even better, because then you'll have more, thorough results. And some people will actually show you the results from their tracking tool, or even sales that they've made. So when people have testimonials like these, it's pretty hard not to go wrong. Now, here's another source I like to use, and this one is called Xmarks, which is a social bookmarking site where people share different links and stuff. But what I would do here is I type in something like make money blogging, for example, and this is where I like to go and find relevant websites. So once you've done some research and filtered through these, you obviously want to look more into the ones that are relevant to your niche. And by that I mean, say for example you've got a site talking about how to make money online on eBay. To me, that's something I'd avoid, because it's more towards, e-commerce and eBay in general. So if I were to spend money on advertising to that kind of audience, it would probably just become a waste of time and money. So make sure that they reflect relevancy to your niche. Okay, so here's an example of one I found. And what I like to do is I like to find sites that are active and are in the same niche. So the first thing that you see, for example, is that these posts have fairly good engagement for a blog. And he's also offering advertising. So you see here, he's getting around 12,000 page views a month, and he's just got over 500 subscribers. And he's also telling you about his target audience, which is very useful. So for sure, he's getting a decent amount of traffic. And if a site is active and you see a lot of people on it, then it's definitely worth contacting them. And I'd basically ask if he's done a solo ad before, or would be willing to email his list to a squeeze page. And I wouldn't send directly to an offer. You want to make sure that these people feel like if they do email something to their list, then it's going to be valuable to them. And when you send them a message, really make the effort to take a friendly approach, and not just like, yo Tyler, can you hook me up and send me out an email for me? I'd also ask about the tier 1 stats, so to get a rough percentage of how much of his list is from the US, the UK, Canada, Australia and New Zealand, because for most of you, these countries are going to be your biggest focus unless you speak another language. But a lot of your money will be made up from these. So re-emphasize that you'll be willing to pay, ask how much, and then you can go from there. So if we take a quick look at his advertise page again, his prices to advertise for a whole month go from $250 down to $55. So I would play on that and emphasize that it's just going to be one email, and if things go well, maybe you can arrange something on a monthly basis, or every time he gets 100 new people on his list, you have an agreement to pay and he'll send the email out. So this is how you're going to get a lot of really high quality traffic. It's something that I'd probably say 90% of people buying solo ads are not doing. So I'd say that this method is probably one of the best quality solo ads, because when you go through the sources I showed you before, those will work and make you money, but you're going to get better results from mailing to a list that's not used to getting solo ads and new offers on a daily basis. So if you can find some sources like this, and it does take a little bit of extra work, maybe you'll want to outsource it. But if you can find people who are willing to send out an email for you, then this is really going to make a lot of difference and you can make some really good results. With that being said, solo ads are literally that simple. It's the closest you'll get to instant traffic and instant results. So before you go out there and start buying solo ads, maybe you want to share some of my traffic, and I'll leave you a link below on how we can do that also. But just go ahead on to the last video about solo ads, because this will be something that's very, very important before you even start buying traffic to your websites and offers. Alright, so that's it for this video. This is Steve from SteveInChina.com, and if you have any questions, just leave a comment below. Thanks guys.